Hello everyone, this is Plunkera, and welcome to my universe. Today, we're going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. So, last time I started up in the corners. I was very scared of them, but it turns out they're not so bad after all. Made quite a bit of progress. I think I have the head, or the face I guess I should say, not the entire head, because I still have to do the hair. I have it mostly done, but the hair, I swear, I never escape the hair. It just keeps coming back for me. And I felt like the eyelids were still a little bit crunchy here, so I figured I'd straighten it all out just a little bit. Make them look a little bit nicer. A little bit cleaner. And then today we probably will turn the hair back on, because I do think that this is all ready for it. It's very exciting. And maybe a little bit exasperating. Just, there's so much hair. But I'll be happy though, because once the corners are done, that's it for hair. Because then it's just time to rig the body, and I think that'll be much easier than trying to rig all the hair. It's like if you look at what actually takes me a long time to do, it is always hair. everything else comes together pretty quickly. Like I said, I did this entire face yesterday. Just the entire thing. And it was no big deal. So part of me's kind of looking forward to being done with all the hair. But for now, I'll do my touch-ups, and then I'm gonna mirror a lot of this to the other side. And then we'll do the hair. So we're in the final week of Inktober now. It's kind of hard for me to believe, just last 7 days here. Today's theme is Scarecrow, and I don't know what I want to do. So I'll figure that out later, I suppose. I managed to find a lot of time yesterday to read through the Path to Nowhere event. I didn't quite finish it, but I think I'm kind of near the epilogue area. And the explanation for how all of this isn't going to affect the rest of the story, probably about as good as you can expect. Not much more you can do other than just make everyone forget and kind of pretend like it didn't happen. A little unfortunate, but I think that's probably the best they could do. So I haven't seen what exactly is going to happen to Zero yet. But yeah, that's pretty reasonable. Let them have their fun and then just let the story go back to business as usual. And honestly, even though the overall, I guess, plot of this particular event was not super to my taste, I don't tend to like humor like that, or super meta stuff in serious stories. Like, if it's a funny story, that it's fine to be meta, but the story here was generally very serious with lighthearted moments, as opposed to just generally silly and dumb. If that makes sense. But yeah, even though a lot of it wasn't necessarily to my taste, it still did the thing that keeps me reading Path to Nowhere, in that it had a lot of interesting ideas nonetheless. I really enjoyed Moore's response to the chief asking her if she believes in fate. And it's like... yeah, I liked her explanation of just kind of yes, but I wouldn't put it like that. Of just... there are certain inputs in the world and certain and those inputs get thrown through some kind of processor, whether that be a computer or a meat brain, and then you get an output. And I think that is a good way to look at the world. It definitely makes sense. And I can kind of appreciate her just not necessarily freaking out at the idea that she lives in a simulation. It's like, in a game more specifically, but if I'm tying it to real-world discussions, it would be that she lives in a simulation. I actually think I talked about this, like a week ago or something, where I always hated these discussions, because they always stop at, does anything we do actually matter? And it doesn't actually talk about whether or not we should change how we live our lives because of this potential thought that maybe the world isn't real. Never mentions that. It always ends at maybe everything we're doing is pointless. And that's just such a pointless discussion, man. It's like the point of trying to figure out how the world works isn't, for me at least, it isn't about some arbitrary, gotta figure out the truth. It's about figuring out how I should actually live my life. How should I change in order to live a more fulfilling life? and the discussion just never gets that far. Because I swear that sometimes it just feels like a lot of the people that discuss these ideas just want an excuse to not care about anything. It's like I wouldn't be surprised if some of these people, like, started investigating nihilism and realized that the point of nihilism wasn't to give up on the world. It was that there are no gods. Gods cannot give you meaning, so you have to find the meaning yourself. You have to work harder. Like, I feel like that was the fundamental core of a lot of Nietzsche's thought. And it gets very much misunderstood and put in terms of that nothing matters. It's that nothing matters on a grand cosmic scale. And so the only thing that matters is how it affects you. And I think that's a perfectly fine way to look at the world. What the heck happened here? Okay, it looks like the deformations might have merged a bit here. Either that or I dragged something when I didn't mean to. So I should fix that. Me seeing funny eye makeup distracting me from philosophy discussion. It's okay, you know, if you find yourself going down a dangerous rabbit hole of thought, art is pretty good for pulling you out of it. I think that's the lesson to be learned here. But I actually don't think my line of thought there was very dangerous. It just tends to be my frustration with people that discuss philosophy. Always just about, but what if? And not about, okay, what do I do about it? I think that's why I struggled to get into it in an academic sense. I remember a line from existential comics about people being worried about the proletariat rising up and taking out all the rich people. And one of the philosophers considered this a very good thing, and some of the other ones were very concerned. And when the one that supported it asked why they were so concerned, the response was, "Do you really think peasants have time to be discussing whether or not chairs exist?" And I thought that was perfect. Because they were all generally wealthy with too much time on their hands. So, that made me happy. I don't remember ever deforming this on any of the other ones, so I'm not sure how it got wrinkly. Or is that just how it looks? Well, maybe it's just how it looks. Okay, I won't do that then. Eyelash top. Let's go remove that. Assuming I can find it. Here it is. Eyelash top right. Remove. There it is. Okay. I don't know, it still looks kind of funny, doesn't it? But no, I guess that's just how it looks. Okay, I'm gonna believe and not worry about it. Yeah, that is indeed just how it looks. Okay. Understandable. I'm going to carry on. I'm realizing here that I don't actually much care for how the eyelids look here. I'm gonna fix them up a little. I always say that when I go into the corners that I want to change everything else as little as possible. But, I always end up changing things a little bit. The corners, they teach me things occasionally. Make me realize that I had some problems elsewhere. And it's alright. That was eyelid left. Let's go look for eyelid right. There it is. And Okay. That should be a little bit better. Things taken me a little bit longer than I expected, but that's okay. I've got all the time in the world here. Give me plenty of time to go in philosophy rants because of something I read in a video game. That's okay. Path to Nowhere is that kind of game. That's why I enjoy reading it. And I think that the final confrontation with Zero also left a fairly interesting question of if you had the option to basically overwrite yourself, get rid of a lot of the pain that you're currently dealing with, would you? And I think I'm kind of in the same camp as Zero in that, no, I would not. Just because I think that I don't think pain is something to be feared necessarily. I think it's largely something to be embraced. Or maybe not embraced, but definitely not to be feared. It's like the struggles that we have in our life end up defining a large part of who we are. And it's like I don't think that we should necessarily continue to suffer because of our identity. Like, if you have an anxiety disorder, go to therapy, get it treated. You'll be happier. And you'll have an easier time. And that is not killing an aspect of yourself. That's just, that's just allowing you to have better control over your emotions and be able to let you lead the life that you want to live. Like, if your anxiety is causing you no problems, then, you know, do you even have a disorder at that point? But, at the same time, you don't necessarily want to erase the struggle of dealing with that anxiety. Like, it did shape who you are. So, keep the memory, but don't necessarily let it hold you back. That kind of thing. That tends to be how I see these things. So I too would not want myself rewritten, even if it might cause me less problems. I'd rather work through with what I have and go from there. But I think these are all ideas that are worth thinking about. Because they will tell you a little bit about yourself, and I think thinking about yourself is generally a good idea. Because when you think in those terms, as opposed to just what other arbitrary labels you put on yourself, or what, or worse, other arbitrary labels that other people put on you, then you're gonna get yourself into some shenanigans. And it's not gonna be a good time. It's important to understand yourself well enough that you know how to move forward in your own life in the way of your choosing, as opposed to what other people tell you to do. It'll give you much more purpose. And it will allow you to choose the suffering route. Because it's like, if you don't... I can tell you, if you don't really believe in what you're doing... I felt this hard when I was in college. If you don't really believe in what you're doing, it's gonna be hard to do it at all. It's gonna be hard to be able to go through any of that pain, because it's like, why? Why am I doing this to myself? But, doing Inktober every day, that's been pretty rough. Like, it's definitely a good time. I've been thoroughly enjoying myself unironically. I love it. But oh man, is it rough. I'm so tired. So tired, but it's such a good tired. I'm so happy. But I just want to crawl into a hole and flop for a week. That's okay. I'll do that next week, when Inktober is over. That's the difference. For me, there is purpose in creating art, and even more purpose in doing a specific art challenge. But I didn't have a lot of those same feelings when I was going to school, so it made it really, really hard on me. That's why I say, maybe pain isn't something to be feared, but at the same time, don't do it pointlessly. Do it for a reason. Feel it in your heart, grit your teeth as you run through that wind blowing against your face. The unpleasant kind, the kind that's trying to blow you off your feet. And you'll get through. If it's something that you actually want. So yeah, I'm curious to see how the event ends. And in true Path to Nowhere fashion, even the events that I'm not as big on story-wise still have a lot of interesting ideas and good characters. Zero and Moore were very fun to watch. Rise too. I enjoyed watching them do their things and all that stuff. So I still found the event to be very enjoyable overall. So I'll see how it ends tonight, and yeah, then I guess that'll be everything for that event. I'm just gonna be waiting until we get all our free pulls for the limited banner, and then I'll do all my pulls then. Looking forward to it. I'll probably end up building Zero next. Haven't actually read what she does. But in her suspect pursuit mission there, she seemed pretty good. I already have my very lazy squads set up, so I may or may not be adding more characters to it. Might look up synergies that she's good with at some point. But I tend to just look up various synergies to help me out with things. And 90% of the time I just use my bleed team for everything. Because I have that all set up. I even have Drea all the way up to level 90. So it's very, very strong. Generally been enough to get me through everything. Let me see. Eyelids, we see less of it, so... Okay. I was just thinking here of when the head is tilted back, do we see more or less of the eyelid? And we see less. So I was debating which side I needed to move the eye makeup on. And it is this side. I want to show less. Because we see less of her eyelid. So I'm going to scrunch everything down. I think I just had the dyslexia in my brain tell me that I wanted to show more of the eyelid, when that is not the case. That's okay. Brain gets it backwards all the time. I figure it out eventually, because something looks wrong somewhere. And then I just sit down and really think about it. You have no idea how often I draw hands backwards. It is such a huge problem for me. I still remember I was drawing on like a Discord stream for my friends and was struggling with the hand. Just could not get it to look right. And then the guy I was streaming to was just like, I think you drew the hand backwards. Because I did the pose myself, but the thumb goes towards me. And I was like, oops. Yep, sure did. Had to think about it for a second, but that was the answer. I was trying to draw the hand backwards, and that's why I could never get it to look right. It's deeply unfortunate. It was pretty funny, though. Sometimes you just gotta be able to laugh at these things. Laugh at yourself. Laugh at your situation. It's okay. It's all pretty funny if you really think about it, right? Yeah, there we go. But it looks like all of this is coming together. I'm trying to ignore all the shadows on the side of her face here. I don't think they're really that important. I might adjust them a little bit once it comes time to put the hair back on, but I don't want to spend a bunch of time adjusting stuff that's going to be all covered up. This area definitely has to be covered up, and we'll see if physics means I actually have to fix the shape of her skull. Because, I mean, what is this? I just haven't felt like fixing it. Yep. Okay. Alright, I think we're looking good. So I'm gonna go start mirroring things over here. I'm afraid to do a full set for mirror though, because if I do that, that'll give me a really hard time once it comes time to actually do the hair. So I think I'm gonna just set every piece. I haven't done the ears yet, so I'm not gonna worry about them. Just go ahead and do that. I'm gonna have to read, so I do apologize if I get a little bit quiet here. Actually, this isn't looking right. Let me do it like this. Okay, and then I'm just gonna unset everything that I haven't worked on yet. Which means I still have to read. So I do still apologize if I get a little bit quiet. So eyelids, hair, definitely everything hair needs to be unset. Fortunately, because of how I named things, hair is just in one solid group. There's just a lot of it. But I can right-click and unset to my heart's content. After I deal with a small itch in my arm. Oh man, there's a... with the Path to Nowhere anniversary art contest thing. I really want to get started drawing that because I like my idea. But I can't really do that with Inktober happening at the same time. It eats up all my drawing time right now. So I'm just kind of sitting here vibrating, just kind of looking forward for everything to end. But I really, really want to finish the challenge proper. And not just give up partway through. Besides, I've been getting a fair amount out of it, but I got to admit, it's been really tough. Not just... Oh shoot, I did not mean to hit remove. What the heck is going on here? Are we good? Oh god. I misclicked. Let me make sure that all the hair is where it should be. Are we good? Is there any hair that's acting weird? Ah, shoot. There's shenanigans. Oh dear. Okay, no, I think we're good. I think we're good. Do not mind the shenanigans. I think that's just because I need to unset the hair. See, this is why I said I needed to unset the hair. Because otherwise stuff like that happens. And suddenly you end up with a lethal weapon in the form of hair. Huh. Actually, it doesn't look half bad, but no, I think it's probably for the best if I do it on its own. I did do a little bit of the mouth node and the nose. But the nose, I think I need to unset quite a lot of it. Just the regular nose part. The nostrils I can keep, I think. The nose node I think is okay. Probably gonna have to do some cleaning on there later. What the heck happened to the draw order on the headline? Oh dear. Okay, I don't remember that being a thing. I'll fix that in a little bit, I guess. I do not think I messed with the pupils here. Alright, is that the bottom? Okay, so the headline clipping through the eyes aside, I think I got everything. Yeah. I don't know how that happened. Let's see. Let me check my draw order on things. So let's see. What's yours? Mine is 60. You need to be that low. I don't know why it's that low, actually. There must have been some shenanigan early on. Oh, well, welcome back, Yeji Kitty. How are you doing today? Right now, I'm just dealing with shenanigans. I'm not quite sure what happened, but here we are. Looks like all is well, though. I'm doing well. Finished playing through the event in the game that the character I'm rigging is from and had a pretty good time. And now I'm just going through and mirroring this head turn here. Man, lots of things just broke somehow. Okay. I don't know what happened, but something broke. Well, I'm here now. For probably another 30 minutes or so. Always good to see you again. So yeah, something broke, and guess I'm gonna have to clean that up a little bit. That's unfortunate, but doable. Alright. Or maybe it was always like that and I just somehow didn't notice. That would be a little bit strange, but... Alright. Have fun. Just gonna fix all that up. Well, I was expecting to be able to get into hair today just because everything else kind of came together so quickly, but... Alright, this is probably gonna slow me down a little bit here. This is kind of the downside to using beta software. Sometimes there are bugs, and they lead to shenanigans. Shenanigans that are a lot less funny than Zero are. Than Zero is, I should say. Grammar. So let me just make sure I get everything right here. We're gonna stay in bald mode for a little while longer, just to make sure everything is shaking out the way it should. Let's get the eye makeup here back into place. And try to eliminate all these shenanigans. Okay. At this point, I'm just kind of glad that the program's not crashing. I remember the last time I had a really nasty bug. It would just crash every time I tried to autosave. And, that was sad. I basically had an entire day where I made zero progress. But at least here there's just something weird going on. And honestly, weird stuff tends to happen when I work at the corners. It's a little unfortunate, but I'll be okay. All will be well. I guess this is another chance to really make sure that the head is looking exactly as I want it. The face is super duper important, so definitely want to make sure that everything is as good as I can make it. Meanwhile, I continue to get my left and right mixed up. I told you, it's the dyslexia. Gets me every time. Gets me every time. Okay. Let me make sure there's no shenanigans on my up and down here. This looks slightly shenanigan-y. Let me make sure that it's mirrored. That would be right. So I want to find left. Eye makeup left. Where are you? Need to read again. Here we are. There's left. Okay. Okay, so they are the same. And I do have my flip pairings set up right? Yes. Okay. We're good. It's just me being silly. Alright, I think we're good now. Whatever happened, everything's fine. Let me just slide this eyelid over. I think I can actually just set it in the mirror. Where is that? Eye makeup. You left or right? You're left. Okay. This might actually break it. Yeah, I don't think that's actually what I wanted. Because I want to move the eyelid, not the eye makeup. My brain must be a little bit scattered. Alright, where'd the eyelid go? I... Then L. Did I make eyelid one word? I did. Okay, so that's gonna be below all the eye stuff. Left. No, that didn't do it either. Okay. I'm never quite sure if when I'm on the sides here, if it's copying it from over here, or if it's copying it from the other eye. When I do it like this. Because that'll just mirror this, but okay. I'll just do it manually. It's fine. And it's the left one. There we go. Okay. Now I need to... There's a little crunch right here, so let's just clean that up a little bit. Okay. Alright, so I think I might have cleaned up all the shenanigans now. Are we good? Just doing some very intense staring while I figure out whether we're good. And I think I want to push this eyelid over just a little bit more here. I do always feel like I run into a lot of shenanigans when it comes time to do corners. Have I mentioned that I fear corners a little bit? There's many reasons why. Okay. Now then. Let's take a look at things over here. How are we doing? Does this look good? I think I might want to make her chin a little bit rounder, actually. Now that I really look at it. I think I just made it a little bit too pointy. Shalom has a very soft face. Very soft, very round. I was almost surprised by just how round her jaw is here. A very gentle egg shape. I am under the impression that is considered extremely attractive in China, so it is not surprising. What is it? The goose egg head and the melon seed head. If I recall the names correctly. Studying beauty standards in other cultures is always kind of interesting to me. Studying other cultures in general is kind of interesting to me. People are interesting. What can I say? Alright. Let's find the headline. Yeah, alright. So that should keep the kind of almost egg shape to her head here. Yeah. Oh, that's much better. Alright, let's send it on over here. There we go. There we go. Okay. How's the mouth? I feel like the mouth is in a good spot. I feel like it should be a couple of clicks to the left. I know there's a reason that I had it right there, but I don't like the way it looks, so I'm gonna try something else. Okay, yep. This still looks fine. I think we're good. Most excellent. Okay. Now then, what was the number I used over here? I want to make sure I use the same one on the other side. Just 41. Okay. There we go. It's amazing how one little click to the side can make such a big difference. Just for my own curiosity, do I still have a lethal weapon in her hair? Or did I properly unset everything? Okay. There's no more lethal weapons in her hair. That's good. Very good. I'm gonna do her head shadows now. That was pretty funny, though. Okay. First do a lot of the basic stuff here. Kinda starts smoothing everything out. We're not going to see very much shadow on her cheeks on this side. Just a teeny tiny bit. I always like putting a teeny tiny bit of shadow on cheeks like this when the shading is soft. When it's hard, it doesn't look as good, but when it's nice and soft, I think it's very pretty. And to be clear, I mean like hard CG type shading, like what you'd see in anime, where the difference between light and dark isn't like feathered out like this, where you can see there's almost like a gradient. What I mean is more like there's a stark contrast. And it's not just gently gradated like this. I don't think it looks as good. I keep trying to put it on, but I think I might give up on doing that in my own art. Just because I always really liked doing it when the shading was soft, but I think I finally figured out that I just don't like it as much when the shading isn't soft. So this is one of the parts that's asymmetrical, so I have to just do this manually, but I don't think it'll be that hard. It already looks like it's kind of coming together. I think I might need to do the nose before I can finish off the rest here, though. So don't mind that things look a little bit funny. It's gonna look a little bit funny for a little while. I just wanted to check on the cheeks real quick. For the most part, looking good, just kind of had to be cleaned up a bit, but I kind of expected that. Yep. Alright. So I'm gonna hide those for a bit, and I'm gonna work on the nose. Yeah, let's get that nose. Alright, what's going on here? Do I like the nostril position? I think that is my first question. And we hide the nose itself, and we'll just get this weird, almost snake-looking thing. I think there's a shenanigan going on with the nostril. Let me take a look over here. I can't tell if it's being made higher because I needed to do it here or... Okay, if it's a half, then, No, that's actually right. Okay, no. All is well. I remember that I had to do it a half because there were shenanigans that weren't working quite right. So I'm just double checking all my numbers here, but it looks like they are all matching. Yes. Yes. So 1580, no rotation, just a little bit of movement to the side. Yes, okay. So I do think that was just my imagination. Alright. It's time to make the nose look good. Now that I think everything has been properly mirrored. Okay. Fortunately, it looks like the computer did most of the work for me. I just gotta have to clean it up. And I think everything's looking pretty alright already. Just gotta kind of smooth out some of these details. Make it all better in that regard. Okay. Now to get the bottom, because after all, she's looking up, so we see a little bit more of what's going on below her nose, which is why the nostrils are a little bit bigger. So I want a little bit of the shading to go kind of, not completely underneath the nostril, but a little bit more underneath the nostril. Kind of line it up with what's going on over here. My goodness, that nostril just looks huge for some reason. But I think it's correct. I remember checking all the numbers. Numbers check out. That's okay. If it keeps looking bad, I'll trust my eyes. But sometimes when I just go over super zoomed in like this, things look strange, and it's fine. It might look okay once I zoom out. I assume it does if I haven't changed it, so... I remember thinking this exact same thing yesterday. Oh, it's probably all good. Alright, now I need to figure out how that top part should go. I think it needs to go a little bit to the right here. You can hear me about to say left because left and right means about the same thing to me. Feels that way sometimes. So maybe something like that. Let's see. How does that look in motion? I swear there's a shenanigan with the nostrils here. What is going on here? I mean, so far so good, okay. Let me just double check these. 10 and 5. 1 and 5. Okay, so this one's actually smaller than the other one? Fascinating. Doesn't look smaller at all. Is it really just because of the shading? I guess so. Yeah, just a darker color, so it looks bigger. Man, the brain is so weird. Truly a fascinating construct. It sees so many optical illusions. Convince itself of so many things that are not true is true. Okay. So let's see. It really is hard for me to believe that this is the correct size, but sometimes you just gotta believe. I'm gonna set you to 1. Just because it's 1 on the other... on the nose here, so... Are you all correct? Okay. Everything there is good. Just wanted to make sure. You know how it goes. Okay. I think on this side I might actually need to push the nose a little bit further this way, because it's... As it is now, it's not, convincing me that her head is kind of tilting this direction a little bit. Like, the axis that it's tilting on is... like, through here. Okay, but it's getting there. Do you think it needs to be a little bit further to the side? It's just the asymmetrical nature of this shadow on it, I think. That's making it need a slightly different home than it did on the other side. Oh, I don't know, that feels too far. Maybe I just need to adjust the top of the shadow there a little bit more. And probably around here as well. Smooth out this area here. Make it slightly more nose-shaped. Very important to have a nose-shaped nose. Just trying to figure out where the side here, kind of representing the nostril, should be. Kinda not satisfied with its current position. Let's take a big old brush over here. Maybe not that big. Pull it down a little bit here, because after all, her head is kind of tilting this direction. So this part should be a little bit lower than everything on this side. Okay, yeah. It's getting there. Something like that should be pretty good. Just almost feel like the angle of the nostril is a bit weird. Maybe I do want it to be like this, since that's how I had it on the other side. Okay. Just gonna struggle on the nose for a little bit here. That's okay. It's on the face. It needs to look good. Really important. It's like I'm doing the head first, and I'm very much putting everything I have into this. Probably gonna be a little bit lazier on the body. I mean, with my nature, you never know, but... it's kind of been that way in past models. Where I put everything I've got into the head, and then I'm just like, no, this is fine for the body. Most of the time I'm right. The head is just so much more important. Oh, didn't mean to hide it there. I was thinking about Zero's character design a little bit more the other day. And I'm just like, man, the Path to Nowhere devs really do like to tease the Chinese censors. Just trying to do all kinds of shenanigans with their character design. I'm surprised they were able to get this through after Koku Leak. Just literal censor bars over her chest. Very wild. Suits the character, I suppose. And just one of those things that's kind of funny. I actually didn't notice it the first time I looked at her character design. I was too busy trying to make it all the details on her face. somehow missed that aspect of her design entirely. Okay, there we go. I was having some issues with the way her nostrils were lining up here. But I think I'm able to do it like this. It's a bit strange to do it like this instead of just moving the nose over, I suppose, but I kind of like the way I have the shadow, so I don't want to fix it. Or I don't want to have to change it. Alright, I think that works. Let's turn the head shadows back on. And then I'll get the rest. And that should be this part of the turn all ready to go. Ready for hair. Ready for me to hide. Because I am scared of the hair. Always very, very scared of the hair. I knew from the beginning that the hair would probably take more time than the rest of this model combined. So far, I've been entirely correct. The hair's been something else, man. Hair has been something else. That's okay, I think it looks good. I've been very happy with what I've been able to do with it. Well, welcome back. Is, how do you say that? CCO Bello your pet? Oh, your doll. I see. Okay. Well, that's fine. If the doll wants to sleep, then might as well let it sleep. Alright, now I'm going to show a little bit more shadow on the bottom of the chin here to show that her head is tilting upward. So I'm getting that into place now. That will probably end for the day once the shadows are in place. Because it is about that time. And I need to eat and prepare for more speed painting. Much, much more speed painting. Been having fun making new videos every day, but man am I tired. Tired and looking forward to drawing some more serious paintings again. Oh, alright, maybe your parents can help you. Not much I can do from here, but I hope you're able to solve whatever problem you're having. After all, I am just an anime girl on the internet. Alright, time to straighten out the shadows on the cheeks a little bit here. I think they were already mostly good. Okay, how are we doing? I got some less than good looking stuff over here under her chin still. So let's go fix that before I start testing everything. This part is probably supposed to be going by her mouth. And that's why it looks a bit strange. Straighten out the chin a little bit too while we're here, and yeah, it looks like I still need to straighten things out over there too, and over here. A few places. It's okay, it can be easy to miss some of these. Well, there we go, let's pull that out to make sure this entire area's covered. Looks like I actually need to adjust the jaw there a little bit. This little spot, just probably going to be covered by hair, but it's borderline enough that I want to make sure it's correct. Alright, let's copy that to the headline. Not visible here because I have it covered up by a reversed mask in order to make the upward head turn look a little bit better. But I want to make sure that it's all lining up just in case. Didn't I just click off? Oh no, I must have... Oh, I see. The brush tool was on top of a vertex, and so it got selected when I clicked on it. Oh, that's incredibly silly. I'm looking forward to the UI improvements that are coming. I've seen what the developer's been working on, the developer of Inochi2D, the program I'm using here, and it looks pretty cool, so... Looking forward to when that's finally all done. Might end up fixing some of my problems here. Alright, how's it looking? Okay, shadow under the nose. Going way too far out there. I forgot how straight I actually had it on this side. Every other side. Didn't quite have it like that. Alright. Get that into place here. There we go. I think it's actually okay for it to tilt back a little bit like that. But I'm not sure if it looks good here. Yeah, probably want to move it a little bit further over still. Let me get a smaller brush for this. Lots of little vertices that need to move over in order for this to happen. And then there were some issues with this area just to the side of the nose that I want to get in as well. Okay. Just selected a vertex when I clicked on the tool again. Oh, those UI improvements can't come soon enough. I'm very much looking forward to it. Okay, so what I actually see is over here. These guys need to come up. The shadows here are pretty subtle. They're very soft. I did everything I could to keep them very, very soft. because the original artist that drew this had them that way, and I wanted to keep as true to this artist's style as my skill level would allow me to. It was pretty hard, but a very fun challenge, I think. And it's still kind of being that way, where I also want to keep the artist's style intact as I make everything move. So I'm trying to keep in mind how they drew things and how other bits of official Shalom art look while I move things around like this. I want to keep it as true to the original as I possibly can. Just doing the last few finishing touches here before I do another test. And what's going on under her nose? I was gonna do another test, but now I see something. That's probably actually supposed to go on like directly on the nose itself here. Okay. That should help me place some other vertices. There we go. Okay. I think everything still looks fine. I don't see anything like bunching up or looking terrible. Still don't think I have the chin quite right. It looks like some of these vertices got pushed to the right here, so let's go push them back. I'm amazed. These ones are like super close together, so a little bit surprised that it was like that. But I will trust my eyes. My eyes know what's going on here, I think. I hope. Now I just gotta clean it up again. That tends to be how it goes. Make a change, and then I realize that I have to make a different change, and then after I make the big change, I gotta clean it up again. Make sure everything's nice and smooth. It's important that everything look as nice and smooth as possible. Nice and smooth as possible. Trying to make sure all these triangles are nice and straight. Because otherwise you kind of get stuff like this that doesn't look quite right. And I'm not quite sure how to get this area looking right. There's just something about the way the mesh is that's making it difficult. But I think that's probably good enough. Yeah, I think it looks okay. I think it looks okay. The present me is currently satisfied. Yeah. Do you think I have to swing over this area a little bit more? This area needs to be a little bit more in shadow. Yeah, there we go. That should flow just fine with the shape of her chin. Yeah, I think so. Let me see. I think I have to make her chin a little bit lower in order to line up with how I had the chin in this angle. Alas, I do not have any guidelines to help me figure out exactly where it should go, so I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it, I guess. I'll do my best. It doesn't need to be that much lower. It's mostly right here. Okay, let's see if that's a bit better here. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, let's do the same to the other side here. And copy to headline. Perfect. Alright, so I just decided to do the faces together here. And I think they're looking pretty good. The weird shape of her skull aside, of course. Let's put the hair on. See how much work I'm gonna have to do. It's like, yeah, there's definitely some spots that look pretty bad, but overall, I think it actually looks pretty okay. Just gonna have to do some work in order to make it fit with the angle that I'm going for here. But I'll go ahead and leave the hair on, because I think we're done with the face. And everything's looking alright. Downward head turn, still got a ways to go, but that's okay. And I don't particularly feel like the head is getting smaller when I do this. Just that the hair is a little bit weird with the way it currently looks, but that's to be expected. I have not done the hair yet. Alright, and I think this is where I will end for today. With a completed face for the upward head. Just gotta do the hair now. So I'll thank you all for coming. If you want me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, or any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or add me on the social media platform of your choice, and I will take a look and maybe leave some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.